Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Hi team, today we're recapping the San Antonio Spurs versus the New Orleans Pelicans. If you watched this game, I'm pretty sure y'all can already infer what I'm about to say. This was a terrible loss, and I was watching this game with my brother, and we were watching the first half, and we were like, should we just turn it off now? Because although we were up by about like 20 points, 17 points, we already knew where this game was headed. We knew that the Spurs weren't going to sustain this, and it was just, we were going to essentially get walked down by the New Orleans Pelicans, and that's exactly what happened. Now, when watching this game, I didn't realize that the Spurs were shooting this bad. You have Chris Paul 1 for 10, De'Aaron Fox 3 for 16, Devin Vassell 1 for 9, even Stephon Castle went 1 for 10. So altogether, I think they shot like 4 for 46 or something like that. It was crazy. But looking at the bigger picture, I think it's time to shut De'Aaron Fox down. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe he wants to play the Kings and he wants to drop him off one more time before he gets that finger surgery. But I think it would just be best if we kind of shut the season down right here and we just go downhill. You know what I'm saying? We lose as many games as possible. I know that isn't the exciting thing to hear, but I think that will be best for the long term. And that's just because you're not going to make the play-in. You're not going to leap over some teams above you, even though the team isn't that bad. You still have a star in Fox, but they just can't compare to the teams above them. So if they play the season out honestly and try to win every game, I don't think they're going anywhere. So it would just be best to lose games and get a better draft pick. Overall, pretty horrible game. I wanted to see some more adjustments from Mitch Johnson, because if me and my brother knew that we weren't going to sustain this lead, I'm kind of wondering if Mitch Johnson knew the same thing. Could he have possibly jumped a little ahead and made some adjustments in the second half that would have helped us sustain this lead? Possibly. But then when you just have a bunch of guards shooting this bad, like, it's kind of hard to win. So it was kind of a collective team L. I can't really pinpoint one person that lost us this game, and we just got to scrap this L, move on. I think we play them again on Tuesday. I'm not too sure when. I don't think they have another back-to-back. So yeah, Spurs play the Pelicans tomorrow on Tuesday. So we're gonna have to bounce back. And I'm at a certain point where, like, I'm not angry at us if we lose, because obviously our situation, but I'm still rooting for the Spurs. It's nice to see them get wins and stuff, but I don't really know at this point in the season. Before we move on, just some players I want to highlight who played pretty good. Champagny was on the heater. I think he had like 4 or 5 threes in the first half. Something outrageous. He was straight up launching those threes and they were going in. So shout out to Champagny. Another player, Keldon Johnson. He's been playing pretty good for a little while now. I'm not sure when that flip switched. I have to go back and see his game logs. But 18 points, 7 for 9 field goal, 2 for 3 3-point range, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. And he just brought a different energy that we're not seeing throughout the rest of the team. Obviously, he's known to be the spark plug, so he's the most energetic. But I would just like to see a little bit more energy throughout the team, a little bit more dog. And I know the energy's down just the season that they've had. But me personally, I would like to see a spark in there. Like I've mentioned, you could throw in Malachi Branham, you could throw in Blake Wesley, even though they aren't the best players, just to give your team a different look. Because running this over and over and over again is kind of becoming stagnant. And possibly those new faces could give the Spurs a needed spark. Obviously, they're not going to go on a win streak at this point in the season, but I think it would just be good for the morale of the team, if you feel what I'm saying. Other than that, there's not much to say about this game specifically. They basically just got walked down in that second half. But one last thing, they actually played some pretty good team defense on Zion, in my opinion. He shot 8 for 17. He got to the free throw line 10 times, which some of those calls were questionable in my opinion, but hey, what can you do? So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about Devin Vassell. Now, we all know that he has had his struggles, and I know some people have said trade him, see what you could get for Devin Vassell. I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I just don't think Devin Vassell is going to get traded. I think he's a part of this team, and with that being said, I think that we have to stand behind him a little bit more. I know that isn't the most popular thing to say, but I'm going to give Devin Vassell the benefit of the doubt on this season, the whole season. No matter if he continues to play poorly, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for this season. And I want to see him play a full, healthy season next to Wemby and Fox next year. Now, if he continues playing this poorly or inconsistently, then we're probably going to have to ship him off. But for now, we got to stand pat behind Devin Vassell. Even though it's hard when they're playing bad, like, we obviously want to see our guys win. But for right now, I think he's a part of this core, so we're going to have to root for him. On top of that, I like Devin Vassell as a player. And at times like this, we're just going to have to look at what he is providing. Although it's inconsistent on the scoring, he is playing pretty good team defense. He's showing hustle, and I think he wants to do better. I think he knows, obviously, like, this right here is not Devin Vassell. Let me show you in the last 5 games. 7.8 points, 2.2 rebounds, 1.4 steals. We know this is not Devin Vassell. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a pass, even though I know y'all in the comments section are going to say we're going to have to trade Vassell. Just give him a little bit more time. A little bit more time. Give him the rest of the season, and then we'll reevaluate him next season. But let's just take a look at these stats really quick. So Devin Vassell in the last 10 games, you see the stats above. He just hasn't been good. And what stands out to me the most is this 3-point percentage. He has shot 25% from 3-point range in his last 10 games. Overall, in the whole season, he hasn't been shooting it well from 3. And I have a question for y'all. I don't know how I feel right now because I don't know if we have a big enough sample size, but how do you feel about our shooting coach, Jimmy Barron? Obviously, I think we all miss Chip England, but what do you think Jimmy Barron has done during his tenure in the Spurs system? I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts. I think some of that could have to do with the shooting. We've even seen Keldon Johnson shooting around like 27% from 3 before his recent stretch where he's been heating up. Overall, it's been a poor shooting season for the Spurs, besides some few bright spots like Harrison Barnes, Champagnie, and Wemby. But another thing is his mid-range game hasn't been all there. We've known him to be a mid-range maestro, and it just doesn't look the same. I don't know. It's off. It's not falling. My frustrations with Devin Vassell lie in games like these where we don't have Wemby and he scores 5 points. So we know what he's capable of, but he still has another threat in De'Aaron Fox on the court. So everyone's attention isn't focused on Devin Vassell. So my confusion comes from how is he scoring 5 points, 6 points, 8 points, 7 points when we know what he can do? And I don't really have much analysis other than this is just a really big shooting slump. Players can have bad or down seasons, and I think that's just what this is for Devin Vassell. So looking at his stats in general, just at a quick glance, it doesn't look too bad. But some things I've noticed is his free throw percentage. This is a career low for him. His 3-point percentage lowest since his rookie year. Field goal percentage is also down by a lot compared to last season. And what I want to see from him is to get back to this season right here. I think if we can get Devin Vassell right here at this stat line, I think that would be perfect for this team. A solid third option, even the year before. So he's not far off when you look at the season in general. It's just these little games where he doesn't show up at all and kind of goes invisible. That's what really frustrates us. So when you look at this season compared to his overall career, I think that we could chalk this up to a bad season. Like I mentioned before, let me know y'all's guys' thoughts. Do y'all want him traded? I want to hold on to Devin Vassell for a little bit longer and see what he can do with the whole season with this core that we now have. But like I said, leave y'all's thoughts down below in the comment section. So before we get out of here, I want to take a look at this little Mitch Johnson clip where he talks about Devin Vassell. Shout out to Hector. I'm not going to waste too much time. Just jump straight into it. Let's go.
You know, Devin's a really good player. He's a tremendous offensive player. People go through that in their career. If I could have any message, which I've told him before, I hope he shoots the ball. I hope he shoots it more. I hope he shoots with more confidence, with more aggressiveness. And I wish he would not care so much. And that's sometimes the problem when you got good guys and people that really want to play for their team. And at some point, you just got to not give a, you know what.
I think that's pretty sound advice coming from Mitch Johnson. Just watching Devin Vassell from afar, I think that Mitch Johnson hit it right on. More confidence is the key for Devin Vassell, and we've seen that whenever we tell him to drive to the paint more, shoot more shots, be more aggressive. He wants to fit in. And the thing about it, when you're a good player like Devin Vassell, you got to have a little bit of irrational confidence. You got to walk around and let him hang, if you know what I'm saying. So I think if we see more confidence, then I think that comes along with winning as a team. Devin Vassell hasn't been a part of a real winning team. So I think whenever he sees those wins start to add up and he's a part of that, I think you're going to start to see him gain more confidence. I think Devin Vassell just wanting to be a team player could kind of get in his way. You know, there's times where he can have an open shot or like a semi-contested shot and he'll pass it up for a Julian Champagnie semi-contested open shot. There's like levels to this where you got to have a certain confidence where it's kind of like Kobe. I'm not saying he has to be Kobe exactly, but it's just like, I worked on this shot, so why would I pass it up when I know in my team's eyes this is probably the best shot that we can get? Now, of course, there's levels to it. You don't want to just start shot chucking and things like that because he does take some pretty difficult shots at times, but he just has to have confidence in his craft, and that's my thing with Devin Vassell. But like I said, y'all leave y'all's thoughts down below in the comment section. What do y'all think could possibly be the key to unlocking Devin Vassell's game and him becoming a solidified third to fourth option. As always, man, y'all be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if y'all haven't already. If you haven't, well, what are you doing, man? Come on, go ahead and subscribe. But other than that, it's me, boy Chris, and I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.